There we go. You guys should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. Yep, so I think that's definitely fixed now. So anyways, 3 stocks. IMRN's the 1 penny stock this morning that went pretty big. And then Roku and MU are kind of just on a nice watch. Really? You can't hear it? So is it a yes, you can, or no, you can't hear anymore? Interesting. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Anyway, so IMRN, first stock on the watch list. So let's get into that one. So as many of you guys know, this thing is already kind of shot pretty much straight up on the day this morning. So there's some news about the company raising their revenue 52% year over year. So yeah, anyways, this has positive news. There's a bunch of volume on it. A bunch of people have been buying it up this morning. So it's worth watching. We'll see if this pans out during the day. So far, the formation that it is in has more. Let me rephrase that. So far, the formation we're seeing has a better chance that it could push up right out of the gates, because the situation where we've shot up and now we're consolidating sideways. Whereas, what was that? What was the last stock that went big the other day? I can't remember the name of it, but we had just a stock the other day. Maybe it was Monday. Might have been Monday. Maybe it was. It might have been yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember the stock that was just kind of going straight up. But anyways, just a couple days ago or yesterday, the stock that was just moving pretty much straight up all pre-market. We said to watch it for a red to green move. It had one red to green move, but again, the more they go up pre-market, and basically the more straight they are pre-market, the more likely they are to drop out of the gates, hold a consolidation, and then go for a red to green move, or just dump out completely. If they squeeze up and then consolidate sideways, that's when they have a better chance of just squeezing up right out of the gates on their first kind of push. So following it long bias for right now, but not getting the hopes high on this, because again, it is already up over like 100% pre-market, which is a really big move. And if I were holding the stock, at $2 or $3 and I had 10,000 shares or something crazy, and I woke up this morning and it was up to $6, I mean, I'd probably want to sell some too out of the gates. So again, you always watch for that initial sell-off before trying to get long. So right now, the only pre-market consolidation and support the stock has is going to be basically $6, $6.10, a little bit below $6. Another way you could do this is just, instead of doing a bunch of lines, you could just do yourself a handy dandy little box like so, and that's going to put you like that. And then if you wanted to be extra fancy, you could go to Edit Properties, turn this to green, and then you'd have yourself a nice green support bar. So down in this zone right now, that's the only support that's been built pre-market that traders will be willing to buy into as the market opens, in theory. That's where the support should be. So if it breaks down that level, you can expect a little bit of a panic sell-off. If it holds here, you could expect a nice squeeze off that level. So that's basically the only zone that I'll be paying attention to for a long bias trade in IMRN today. Basically $6 right in that area. Let's see. Yep, this is live and free. You are right about that. All right, guys, so that's IMRN. Next one on the list is Roku. So Roku has potential. I'm recommending it right now, but I think it still could be maybe a day or so early. But basically, the way to look at this is Roku had a solid. Looks better like that. So yesterday, Roku kind of pulls to the downside, right? Goes down pretty heavy. We end up getting bought back up very aggressively. This 4-hour candle turns into a big hammer candle. And then you have a couple little bullish candles here. But nonetheless, again, if the stock is going to sell off and then get bought right back up all the way to previous highs, that's a really bullish move. And it's not something to, it's something to pay attention to. So if you look at Roku past couple days, it's been consolidating, but each dip, each little sell-off the stock has had, it's been getting bought up pretty much immediately. So we have a lower wick here, lower wicks there, lower wick here. So we're starting to see a lot of lower wick buyers come in on the stock, which basically means with the way we're moving, we could easily see Roku have a multi-day breakout over its previous consolidation tops, which are right about 105.50 to 106. So if it does curl up and get over 106, we're probably going to see a nice push and a squeeze back to the upside, which could bring us back up towards 104, which would be that previous 52-week high. So following Roku today and the next couple days for a multi-day breakout over the previous tops of like 105, 106. And if it doesn't break out, that's fine. We're going to see it probably trade within the range from 100 to 104, 106 for the next couple days. So definitely keeping this on watch. It's starting to give me that bullish feel for right now, which could easily shift, but this buyback, right? This initial buyback from yesterday's low point, that's what's giving me that bullish feel to it. Trading platform for traders in the UK. I don't know which one would be the best for traders in the UK, but basically you could use Interactive Brokers. You could probably use TradeZero, Questrade. TradeZero, Questrade, and Interactive Brokers. All right, so that's Roku. What else I have on it? MU. So there's also a couple other ones other than just the ones that I've mentioned that might be pretty decent. So MU earnings, solid bounce all the way up into previous seller's location or previous supply zone, which is right here. All right, so we've gotten back up into a seller's location here. So now starting to have more of a short-term bearish kind of outlook on MU to see if today, tomorrow, next couple days, we pull back off this $44 level, maybe down towards 42 or the previous top location, which is still at 42. So like right here. All right, so I think we have a little bit of a short trade coming in here back down to the previous top where we'd probably bounce, maybe retest the high. So anyways, seller location, MU, into a supply zone in the short term, watching it for a little bit of a sell-off and a short trade. As you can see yesterday, which you won't be able to see while I have this red bar in here, so let me edit properties. I can remove that and just make it white if I want to. So yesterday you can see that MU ended up having a pretty good sell-off right at the beginning of the day, pretty sharp, aggressive sell-off. So just that alone is telling me that we're starting to get towards sellers. This wouldn't happen if people weren't willing to sell. So we're starting to get to a location where people are willing to sell the stock MU, which means you could probably suggest that we might see a pullback. So you can see from the past couple of days, we topped out here at 44, had a big sell-off. We broke over, and then yesterday had another decent sell-off. Now we're starting to roll to the downside, right? So rather than, right, if you look here, like this day, rather than getting, well, I guess we kind of did dip by there. Let me go back a little bit further. Maybe this will work. It doesn't really work as well as I thought it would. But you can kind of see from yesterday, right, where this day kind of rolling under, right? Kind of curling up, dip, bought, curl up, kind of curling up. Now we're going down, curling down, down, curling down. So today following MU short bias. BBTH, I know they got a price target of like $20-something a day. I don't really care for BBTH, got low volume. Unless volume picked up dramatically, I probably wouldn't trade BBTH. If I haven't heard anything about SLS, it's probably not that good. If I look at it right now, it probably doesn't have that much. If it's a penny stock, probably doesn't have that much volume. No, it doesn't. Yeah, 13-cent stock, not a lot of volume. I wouldn't really be focusing on this too much personally. There might be a move. You see how I kind of had a move here. Like that's basically what you're banking on. If you're ever trading anything that's a sub penny stock or anything really cheap, this is basically what you're going to get. You're going to get a move like this, which is going to take place over the course of 1, maybe 2 days, with 50% of the move a lot of times happening after hours of pre-market while you're sleeping. So the likelihood that you catch something like this and actually get a full-on trade from it's very unlikely unless you're buying very early and really hoping that it did that. So again, yeah, if you're ever trading a sub penny stock, the likelihood you're going to catch one of the moves is not very likely. You end up just kind of chasing around looking for stocks all the time, and it never happens. But with that being said, no, I probably wouldn't trade SLS. Like this here, right? Like if you think about it, okay, so look at so like yesterday, if you wanted to be a long bias trader yesterday, which you, again, there's other stocks to be long bias on, but let me just take a second here if you want to be long bias on, it's the only somewhat decent trade you could have made yesterday would be on this low point and trade a reversal on that dip, right? And that's SLS. Now, let's go over something like Netflix. On Netflix, you could have traded you could have traded a bullish divergence reversal here. You could have traded a double bottom bounce here. That would have been okay. And then you could have also traded a nice dip buy here. And then you could have also traded a nice little curl and push here as it breaks over. God, I hate when I do that. As it breaks over consolidation like so. There was a nice trade there. There was a blatantly obvious bullish divergence here. Bullish divergence right there. Could have traded that long. All right, and then there's also like a blatantly obvious bullish divergence here that you could have traded long. And then there was also a double bottom bounce that you could have traded there. Even so, momentum was still trending up on that. So again, you could have traded 1, 2, 3, 4 long setups on a stock that was bearish for the day, and then go back to something like SLS. SLS, you had 1 potential long bias trade on a stock that was, for the most part, bearish on the day. And again, it just trying to get your eyes open to the area of opportunity that usually is around with stocks that are very, very cheap. The area of opportunity window is very small, usually. Let's see. Thoughts on, yeah, BYND is decent. Let me think. Let's see what everyone's talking about. Yeah, BYND. I haven't been trading BYND personally. The hype and the momentum starting to slow down, and you know it is because you can just see it. If you look at the days, the volume's starting to become far less. There's basically no volume here, really nothing. I mean, you're trading. I mean, what was that? That was 1,000 shares. I mean, 200 shares. So it's starting to trade on far less volume now. So yeah, I'm not crazy about it. And it's not really in an ascending triangle. I mean, I guess you can argue that it is. A lot of people are going to try and buy up this day. A lot of people want to buy up this day. It's been holding support on 66. So there's a small chance that we get like a small little trend line break here at about 168. But if that fails and it breaks down below 166, then it's going to be in for a fun ride. And the most likely its next stopping point is going to be all the way down at about 147. So I'm not crazy about BYND right now as far as trading it. I think today's could be a very determining day, but I'm not crazy about trading it myself. All right. Let's see. We got about 9 minutes left. Nightbot is like a small. Basically, it's a little computer bot we put on to do things. Yeah, if Johnson & Johnson's going to release earnings, you just let it release earnings. You don't trade it before earnings, typically. Oh, is Johnson & Johnson today? Oh, they didn't know their earnings was today. That's interesting. Yeah, so they already reported earnings at 7:30 a.m. Central Time, and it's 8:50. So if it's 7:30 Central, yeah, they already did. They should have, yeah. So it's kind of lagged down. I guess I would probably just watch it short. I didn't get a good chance to look at it. I'd have to look at their earnings and see what they actually reported to maybe give myself a better idea. But best thing you can do is always follow price action. Right now, price action is starting to move down. So I'd probably just follow Johnson & Johnson short bias currently. And if they do end up falling short on the day with a big move of about 4 to 5 points, then you should look at dip buying it and getting long on it, probably down here at this location. Nope, not there. That's just zoomed in. Yeah, but you'd probably want to get long somewhere down here if it if Johnson & Johnson crashed all the way down to 130, 128 today, without a doubt I would most likely buy it at about 129, 128 with very little hesitation. You guys near support. So it's not about you guys being near support. That's something, again, this is a big problem that I always see with anybody trading any sort of ETF market. They always ask me if an ETF is at support, and yes, and it works, but I want you to get to a level, well, not a level, but I want you to understand what it is you're actually doing. It's not whether or not you guys is at support. You guys is nothing, okay? It's whether or not your natural gas is at support, right? So you guys is the outcome of the natural gas futures market for the most part. So whatever your natural gas market's doing, you'd want to then check and say, hey, is natural gas at support? If natural gas is support, then you could expect that your stock, or sorry, your ETF, you guys, would most likely be at support. But you don't trade you guys based off of you guys. You trade you guys based off of natural gas futures market. All right. So again, it's not whether or not you guys are at support, it's whether or not your futures market is at support. Many times, if it looks like you guys is at support, you're going to come to find that the natural gas market futures are probably at a support. But you never go based off the ETF. You always go based off the futures, and what the futures are telling you, then you trade that based on the ETF. So yeah, you guys, in theory, would be coming close to this previous dip buy location. And yes, you could probably find yourself a green trade if you get in long at about $14.19 or $15, depending on if the futures market holds support there. One second. I just got a lot of messages I'm going through. TRNX, low price. Oh, this is working well. Oh yeah. See, again, guys, I don't look at stocks this low price. So I never know that they're even moving. If something like this is moving, I never know it until you guys mention it, because I don't look at stuff this low priced personally. So yeah, broke over previous top. You're already late to that party. Stock's already moving. So yeah, you're late to TRNX. I mean, you can follow it. It might have. I'm not saying it's done moving, but you're already late to the move. So you got to really be keen on how you get in and where you get long on this, because you're already late, right? It's like everybody's been at the party since 8 o'clock, and everybody's hammered, and you show up at 12 o'clock and you're trying to play catch up. Next thing you know, you're just downing a half gallon of Crown Royal to catch up, and you already know how that night's going to go for you. Not well. So you never want to get to the party late and try and play catch up. It usually results in a bad night. So it's kind of like this. You're already late to the party. You got to be very selective on how you choose to get involved in that party, or else your toilet's going to be in the head. Your head's going to be in the toilet puking here pretty soon. So again, you want to be very careful if you're going to trade TRNX, because it's already up big this morning. It's already up pre-market. If you look at, I think it's a 5-day chart. What was it? No, not the 5-day. 20-day? Yeah, 20-day. So if you look at the 20-day, right, you had your top here, kind of goes down, consolidates, presses up to its next top, right, and now it breaks out. So you're already in the breakout. It's already broken out, so you're buying the move up, right? So every time you're buying up, somebody's selling to you that had it before you, and just know that that's the way the game works, is that if you come late to the party, right, you're buying up the move as it's going higher, and people are selling to you. You want to be the person selling to those that are buying up the move, and that's the way it works. Because let's say you have let's just say you're like crazy and had for example, let's say you had 20 million shares of the stock, right? Do you think you could sell 20 million shares of the stock as it's going down without just annihilating the price of the stock? No, you can't, because if everybody's selling, right, and you come in and try and sell 20 million shares, you're just going to tank the stock, because there is no buying pressure to support the stock if everybody's trying to sell. So someone with 20 million shares, needs a move up, and they need a good move up, because if it's just some janky little pop, it's not going to work. They need a strong press up with lots of volume so that people like me and you come in and buy the stock up, and as we're buying up, they're unloading their 20 million shares onto fresh buyers who are now going to own those 20 million shares up at prices of 50 cents, 45 cents, but they can't sell their 20 million shares while price action's going down, because they will dump the stock. They need to sell their 20 million shares as price action is going up, because then they can sell into the strength that is there to support the number of shares they have to get off their hands. So again, probably wouldn't be buying this up myself. But generally speaking, anything that's a sub penny stock, when they start running, a lot of times they'll get very close to 90 cents. So if this does want to turn into a really, really good move on the day, I'm going to say we're going to get close to 90 cents on TRNX today, unless it's already done that recently. Did it do that recently? No, it had to get to 37 cents. Yeah. 858. Whoa. How do you find dividend stocks? Mr. C, just know that basically basically go to Google and type in best dividend paying stocks of 2019. And if you're going to do anything that's a dividend portfolio, I never even make videos on dividend. I could make so many more videos about other stuff, but if you're going to do dividend investing, you're going to make a dividend portfolio. I mean, really, you could go to Google and just type in best dividend stocks of 2019. Somebody in the world has written a blog or has written an article about that. And all you have to do is just get the ticker symbol of the stock, and then you can look up the stock's dividend payout. Pretty easy to find. If you're going to do a dividend portfolio, again, to some type of dividend investing stock-based portfolio, generally the rule of thumb is to make sure that any of the stocks you have in your portfolio do not have a dividend payout above 5%, because anything above 5% should be looked at as shady. So if you're starting to see stocks with dividend payouts of like 10, 12%, know that you probably shouldn't have them in your portfolio, most likely because that stock is going to be of higher risk, meaning the company is probably not as structured, not as sound as some other companies that are paying dividends of 3 to 4%. Right. So if you go look at something like Amazon, which is just a multi-conglomerate, billion-dollar business, not a conglomerate, but a massive business, right? If you look at Amazon, crazy big business, you would think a business like Amazon, right? The average investor that doesn't know any better would come in and think, wow, look at Amazon, really strong company, big company. You'd think that they'd offer a big dividend, right? Wrong, because Amazon doesn't need your money. A dividend is an incentive for investors to buy stock and invest in stock so that the company has more money to work with and they can grow their business. Well, if a company is already big and they have money, why would they want to spend more money on to incentivize someone to buy their stock when they don't need the money? That's what a dividend payout is. A dividend payout is an incentive to investors to continue to hold and or buy more shares within the company to help support the company. When a big company like Apple rolls around or Amazon rolls around, chances are, or McDonald's, they're not going to pay you out a really big dividend because they don't need your money. They're self-sustaining. McDonald's has been around forever, so just paying a higher dividend really doesn't do them any good because they're already a great company as is. So when you see a company offering like a 12% dividend payout and you look at them and probably go, holy shit, this company is terrible, and that's the reason they're paying me so much money to own their stock, because if they weren't, most people probably wouldn't own it. So anything above 5% when it comes to dividends should be looked at as a shady, kind of iffy payout structure system, and you should be questioning why it is they're giving you so much money to own their stock. And that will be the last little spiel that I have of the day. Other than that, everybody take care. Got to get back to the private group. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. And as always, I will see you guys again on the next video. Everybody take care and don't blow your account today.